This is something that's just really different about New York City real estate, that's different from how business is conducted pretty much anywhere else in the country. And it involves what happens when a purchaser buys a home. So basically, everywhere else in the country, when a person makes an offer to buy a home and that offer is accepted, then there is a binding agreement between the buyer and the seller. And during that period, a buyer can then perform their due diligence, and essentially there are contingencies in that agreement that allow them to back out of the deal if something terrible happens or what have you. And then both parties can walk away. Sometimes there are penalties involved. I'm not a lawyer. I just know that there's a binding agreement after an accepted offer. In New York City, when the seller accepts an offer and then the buyer performs the due diligence, there is no binding agreement. So what that means is that either party can back out of the deal during this due diligence period without any penalty for whatever reason they choose. It's great for, I guess, both parties, because if you're a buyer and you see something you don't like, then you can just back out and you don't have to put up any money. However, what does happen is you could potentially miss out on the property. So if someone else decides to come along and they want to make a better offer than you, the seller is under no obligation to honor your accepted offer. They can just back out and accept the better offer, or they can come back to you and renegotiate, or you can come back to them and renegotiate based on something you found. So it's just a stressful period between accepted offer and actually a signed contract, because anything can happen and nobody is really under any obligation to do anything for anybody. So there you have it. I've been on both sides of that conversation during my career, and it's never fun. It's never fun.